All recording now.
So, thank you. I told you earlier on, I was already thinking spooky thoughts, getting ready for tomorrow's seance.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much.
So this is my new thing. As you know, I'm a wand maker, right? So I don't have a studio, so this is two IKEA coffee tables stacked on top of each other, hence the rattling. So basically, while researching for the wand making business, naturally I've been looking into like Irish magical traditions, and not just the magician stuff, but the magical traditions. And obviously then this time of year, that leads you down kind of a spooky road. So I got this off a guy who works in Trinity. He has, I think it's like a doctorate in folklore and the supernatural, and he used to lecture in Edinburgh University's paranormal,
Psychology?
metaphysics. No, it's basically a supernatural studies course, but para something or other. Anyway, but yeah, so he was kind enough to give me this. So, have you heard of? You're an Irish magician. You've heard of the Hellfire Club in Dublin, right?
Let's just say I have something planned for up there in the future.
Great. So, did you know that the Hellfire Club wasn't the only Hellfire Club? So there was a few, for example, but also there was a precursor group in around 1887 over in Connemara. Now, they quickly got shut down because, like, there was rumors. It was, some people said it wasn't true, and it was just kind of around Victorian times, people getting angry with the class inequality and stuff. But that there was a group of like the well-to-do in town, and they were like allegedly involved in Satan worship and witchcraft and things like that. But some children started going missing. So there was a few people that they thought this was, but because they were the high kind of well-to-do in town, they were in a powerful position socially, and as well as that, if the stuff was true, people in the town or the village or whatever, they didn't want to do anything about it because fear of like a supernatural reprisal. But they called in somebody. So some of the stories say she was like an old Irish witch. Some say she was a traveling fortune teller. Nobody's really certain, but the guy in Trinity gave me this. This is what's known as the spirit candle. Now, I don't know if you've heard of them before, but a spirit candle, it's a magical implement, but technically anybody can make one. They're not difficult to make, but the timing is tricky. So what happens is, if you were to, you want to contact somebody who's dead, you have to have a candle, naturally. Now people tend to use church candles, not because of the spiritual aspect, but purely because they'll burn for a long time, but they're small enough to carry around, because you want it to last as long as possible. The reason being is, to make a spirit candle, you have to have a candle, and the first time that candle is lit, it has to be held over the grave of the person you want to talk to under the light of a full moon on the anniversary of their death. So there's a few kind of, the planets have to align things there. So to find out how rare that was, I checked today. Tomorrow is Halloween, and it happens to be a full moon. The next time that's going to happen is 2039. And throughout the whole of this century, there's only 6 full moons on Halloween. So they only happen every 19, 20 years or so, it seems. So you can imagine how difficult these are to come by. But if you know it's going to happen, you can make a dose of it once. But then if you had a small little candle that burned out, like, you're not going to make a spirit tea light, because you can talk to somebody for an hour and wait 20 years before you can get another one. So I'm just going to light this. Okay. Just get rid of matches. Yeah. The next thing I have is this. This is what's interesting, because in here, I've got 6 portraits of the original 6 suspects in the case. So the traveling fortune teller or witch or whatever she was, whether it was right or wrong, she definitely accused somebody and that person was actually hanged because they investigated, found out certainly enough evidence to execute them. Now, whether that was true or not, or if it was a bit of panic, we're not sure. But what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to use this spirit candle to channel that spirit through you. Okay? So if we look here, I'm sorry, the angle's a bit tricky. We have Philippa Gray, the Earl's wife.
Mm-hmm.
We have Charles Donnelly, the RIC constable. We have Dr. James Ryan, the doctor. We have Mary Moore, the schoolmistress. And we have Father Francis Swift, the priest. And last but not least, we have Jonathan Gray, the Earl. So he was the local landowner at the time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread these left to right. And we're going to keep what you say, because I know you know with magicians, especially if you say you want odds or evens, and you say the one that I don't want, I'll do the opposite. But we're going to keep what you want. So do you want to keep odds or evens?
Odds.
You want to keep odds. Okay. So 1, 2, get rid of. 3, 4, we'll get rid of. 5, and 6, we'll get rid of. So the ones we're left with are Philippa Gray,
Mm-hmm.
put her there, Dr. Ryan, and Father Swift. Okay? So I'll just get the other cards out of the way because this table is not as big as I'd like. So out of these 3 people, we've narrowed down our suspect pool. I want you to choose somebody to get rid of. Now, don't tell me yet, but let me know when you picked somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you pick Philippa?
No.
James?
Yeah.
You got James. Okay. So finally, okay, I don't know why I'm shuffling them up, you're still going to look at them, but I don't want you to think too hard because the way this works is kind of intuition. This person is working through you. If you try to think too hard, especially since it's been so long, your thoughts will kind of overcrowd hers. So it's just a snap decision. When I show you the 2 cards again, I want you to tell me who did it.
Francis Swift.
You think Father Francis Swift did it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, as you saw, this envelope's been here the whole time. And there's a lot of gibberish written on it, admittedly. But the reason being, naturally, I mean, you'll be able to show it tomorrow night. When you try to contact the spirit world, generally, it's a very muddled message. But if we hold the message over the spirit candle, and I hope this works. Almost. Might be tricky to read, but let me know if you can see that there.
It was Francis Swift.
Congratulations. I'll let her go. Now, you can press stop if you want there.
Let's see.